Hello, welcome to Boys Town. It's a beautiful fall day here, sunny day in the village of Boys Town. We're here in the Father Flanagan historic home, and we're in what we call our classroom. This is an exhibit we created here to show our visitors and our guests what the classrooms look like out here at Boys Town in the early days. And today I'm going to be talking about our history of Boys Town and our history of education. Education is very important to Father Flanagan, and he always made sure the children had cutting-edge technology when they came to live here in the village of Boys Town. And in this room, we have a little display panel that we created, and it shows one of our early schools here on campus called the Omaha Building. The boys lived in this building, went to school there, worshiped, ate their meals, all in this one building. And within the building, they had these classrooms. And this is an image of actually Father Flanagan teaching in one of our classrooms back at that time. When he was created Boys Town, he discovered the boys lacked education overall when they came to live with him. So he created a special program to work with those boys when they came to live in the village of Boys Town. And within this classroom, we have some of the original desks the boys used many years ago. We have some of their chalkboards. It's the old slate chalkboards. And in Father Flanagan's classroom, he had images of Native Americans prominently presented. So you'll see those throughout the classroom if you came to visit Boys Town. And we have actually a tour group going through right now. You might hear some noise. It's some children from Lincoln that are coming to visit us right now. So they're going through the house. And then in this classroom too, we have a reproduction of the desk. And this is a desk that the kids make for the kids. And we have even more images. Every boy on campus would create a desk, and these desks would be given to the teachers. So this is one the teachers would have used here many years ago in the village of Boys Town. We have some more images too. We have, again, our first classroom from about 1918 and down into German-American home. One of the boys using the technology of the day, typing. That was one of the first trades they taught the boys here. And then another image of our classrooms. You can see the desks the boys using, just like we have here in this recreated classroom. And I have some images over here. And these images are from our history of our education program at Boys Town. And it all began down at our German-American home back in about 1918. The boys were going to public school in Omaha, and Father Flanagan didn't like the way they were being treated. So he said, I'm going to create my own school system. So on September 2nd, 1919, our first Boys Town classroom opened. And we have an image. We have a lot of images of that. And then this is the classroom. And you can see back in the corner is one of the nuns that was a teacher. And then one of the ladies that came to volunteer to teach in the classroom. The first teachers here were nuns, and then volunteers who came out to teach the boys. When Father Flanagan moved to our current location in 1921, they built wooden buildings here. And this is the wooden building that eventually became the school here on campus. And you can imagine it's a very small building, and Father Flanagan really didn't like it. He felt the boys needed a better building to have an education in. So what he did was he raised money and created our Omaha Building, which you saw a little earlier. He loved this building. It was built out of brick or stone. And that was Father Flanagan's concept. He said, I always want to build new buildings, have new creations for the kids, because it'd have new technology and new ideas that he could work with the boys. And in this classroom, we have some images of the classroom back at the time. You can see the artwork on the walls. Father Flanagan loved artwork, so he encouraged the boys to do art all the time. And you can see from the boys' faces how happy they are. Going to school was not a chore for the kids because the teachers Father Flanagan hired had empathy for the children. That was very important to him. Father said, I want special people to come and teach and work here at Boys Town. They must have empathy for the children, but also have the skills to control a classroom. And that's what he advocated for the children. And this is actually a photo of Father talking to some of the kids in the classroom back at that time. He'd often go to the school and talk to the boys and lead some of the classes. And that's their senior high boys back in the 1940s. Father's giving a talk before they graduate. This is a unique picture of our school. This is actually the producers from Hollywood that are here back in 1937 and 38 to visit. This is Norma Torog, the director of the movie Boys Town. Here's some of the Hollywood people, the producers that came to visit, and they're touring one of the classrooms as they prepared to get ideas and concepts for the creation of the movie Boys Town. And they just wanted to see what it was like, so Father took them to our school so they could see the school. And this is an image of the school back, the same school back in the 1950s. That old school was very old, and eventually it was replaced because it had just used its purpose. Built in the 1920s, it needed to be updated. and they wanted a better program for the kids, and that's some of the kids in one of the classrooms back in the 1950s. In 1948, Father Flanagan built our first modern high school here at Boys Town. And unfortunately, Father did not live to see it completed, but he loved this building. It was built on his theories and concepts of what a school should look like. And it was completed in about 1948, and it was used all the way up to just a few years ago for the boys and girls. Thousands of boys and girls attended classes in this special school that Father Flanagan designed. And within the school, you can see an image of the classrooms, what they looked like back at that time. They were state-of-the-art for the 1940s into the 1950s. And the boys received the best education possible that Father Flanagan could afford them. And eventually his successors, Father Wegner, Father Peter, and Father Hupp. So one of the boys doing drawing in one of the classes. Manual arts are very important to the kids. They had the trade school, and they had art programs, music, just everything you can imagine for the children here on campus. That's some of the kids. They're in the media room, and they're learning how to do printing and using negatives. And that's part of the printing program that they had here for the boys back in the 1950s and 1960s.
They still have the trades here, Tom?
We sure do have trades here at Boys Town. We have modern trades for the kids. We have woodworking, we have welding programs, we have a nursing program, we have media programs, automotive, just a whole variety of programs. We actually have a young lady who works for us at our Hall of History right now. She's going into automotive, and when she leaves Boys Town, that's her dream, is to go on to further her education and work in automotive. So our boys and girls have that opportunity to see if they really like something, and they can carry it out, and that's exactly what Father Flanagan advocated. We have an image here, one of our classrooms, again, back in the 50s. You can see one of our teachers here. Father Flanagan hired men and women of all different races and religions to come and work here at Boys Town, because that was very important to him, that Boys Town would be open for all children, and the diversity of staff is very important to him. And this is one of our teachers here in the science class, working with the boys back in the 1950s and 60s too, on the science classes here we have at campus. And that's kind of the history of Boys Town, because we have a unique education program here, because Father Flanagan again created it for the care of children who had special issues with behavior and health, and so he created this special program just to work with the kids. And he said we must keep evolving and changing. So today at Boys Town we have an exciting program taking place. We're having the creation of our new education center here on campus. It's currently being built right in the heart of the village of Boys Town. This top drawing here, this large drawing, shows the beautiful structure that's being created. This structure, the colors of the brick and the stone are all based on the original brick or stone Father Flanagan had for the first school in 1948. Because we are a National Historic Landmark District, so we follow tenets on how we preserve our buildings here. So this new building just blends in with our other buildings. You wouldn't even know it's a modern new structure for the boys and girls. And right in the middle of it, there's going to be a beautiful panel. It's called Etched Concrete. And you can see our heritage with two boys walking up to the original overlooked farm from 1921. And then some of our current graduates heading off to begin their new lives. And then Father Flanagan looking down on them, leading us through. And this is our education program at Boys Town, and the concepts Father Flanagan had for the school. He wanted beautiful, airy buildings with a lot of light in them and beautiful colors, because he said children need to be stimulated. So whenever he designed a building for the children here in the village, he followed those tenets. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this new school. Our elementary school children, our junior high and high school students all will be able to be in one building. And it will be modern, and it will be a safe structure, because Father Flanagan always wanted beautiful, safe structures for the kids. And we actually have some images of what it will look like on the inside. You can see the beautiful, airy, light structure will be in modern spaces for the kids to gather. And it was so important to Father Flanagan for children to have beautiful spaces like that. And the back of the building is just going to be full of glass. So the children will have a beautiful atrium area in the back. The inside, there's actually plans for a garden to be created so they can go outside, and they'll have every modern convenience for a modern school. And it's just amazing the beautiful colors that will be in there, and the design. Detailed work is going into it to make it a special place for the children when they live here in the village of Boys Town and go to school. Because education, again, is very important to Father Flanagan, to our boys and girls today. Some of our children are the first in their families to graduate from high school. So we want to give them the best skills possible to go out in the world with an education, beginning a trade, to take care of themselves. And we share this program that we have. It's called a well-managed classroom. And this is something for many, many years, this concept we have shared with school districts all across the United States. If we go to a conference here in Omaha, it's called Teachers Night, where we meet with teachers from all over the Omaha area. Many of them will say, we're using the Boys Town program in our school. And we just had a contract with the Las Vegas School District to do with the schools in Las Vegas. So thousands of children will have this well-managed classroom. And how that managed classroom was created is based on years and years of study we have done working with our boys and girls here at Boys Town. And it's the basic concepts going back to Father Flanagan that we use even today, and now we can share across the United States. And all of these unique programs are made possible by our supporters at Boys Town. And if you would like to help us continue this program and also to help support the creation of our new school here at Boys Town, you can go to boystown.org and become a donor and supporter of Boys Town. I want to thank you today for joining me, and I hope you come out and visit the village of Boys Town soon. You can drive by and see our new school and tour the Hall of History and see our history and what we're looking to for the future of saving more children and healing families across America. Thank you very much for joining me today.